Greetings today. We are grateful for this transmission today, for we have entitled it, The Truth, or What is the Truth? For many of you, when we say the word truth, we'll look outside the self. But the truth lies inside the framework of the body. And through this, you can discover the truth. We wish to give you an analogy, a picture for your mind. We will do this in a linear way, mixed with a little bit of holographic thinking. For what is the truth of you? What is the truth of the universe? Very good questions. But we'll explain from our perspective what we believe truth is. In order to understand that, we must go back to a linear way of thinking to the very beginning. Even in your science, you refer to it as the Big Bang. For in the beginning, there was a dense point of light, yes? This is what your scientists agree upon, at least some of them. In our belief system, we believe the same thing, but it is more than a belief. It is a knowing, because we have experienced this. A good way of looking at this is your sacred geometry, specifically the flower of life, yes? For this is a perfect analogy for creation. In the beginning, there was nothing. You can't even conceive nothing, for we are something. But in order to move relative to something, you must create another object to move relative to, right? In your Genesis, it describes that God moved upon the face of the waters. Upon the face of the waters. The reflection of the water. For the first circle is the one and all, but in order to experience itself, it needed to move relative to something, so it then created itself again as a reflection of itself. And through those two circles, polarity was created. Now there are 7 circles in the flower of life. Excuse us, the seed of life, or the flower of life, is expanded upon it, and each one of those circles represents more information coming out. And as that dense point expanded, we experienced separation. We created space-time as the expansion happened. For there's no such thing as nothing, yes? For that is truth. Now, we wish to expand further upon this idea of what truth is. For when we say you are incarnated in reality, the first thought to come to mind is that you are in this external reality and you were placed there by God. That is not what is happening at all. For reality is coming through you. You are creating reality as you go. For if the whole entire universe is one thing, it can only be one thing. Matter is not created, nor is it destroyed. It is all one thing. And if that is true by that definition, then you are all pieces of the universe. Yes? Pieces of God. Pieces of divinity. We do not mean this as an analogy, for you are not the creator, but you are experiencing the reality for the creator through your own perspective, unique as it may be. But you are experiencing reality inward, and it expands outward and gives you a sense that you are in an external reality. Now, you are not the only one creating reality, for there are many, many beings here on your earth and in the greater cosmos that co-create reality for you and with you. For this version is not thrust upon you as you might seem. You are not caught in the cosmic wind of creation, for you are part of it. In your 26,000 year cycle, as you go into your sleep, you forget your connection to the universe. You forget your connection to who you truly are. And that's why you are waking up to the greater truth of what is. Many of you like to speak of this place as a matrix. And in some sense, it is like that. But not in the idea as that you are trapped within it. For that trap is an illusion. For in order for you to be here, you must possess an ego, yes? For if the ego was not within you to anchor you into this reality, you would pull yourself right out the moment you had a bad experience, yes? So you cannot kill the ego. You cannot get rid of it, for it is a part of who you are. You must understand that the ego is a reflection of who you are, who you choose to be. And if you do not like the reflection, you do not change the reflection. You do not change the mirror. You change the self, for this is a choice. We understand that at this point in human history, there is a lot of ideas of polarity, especially in the fact of the devil and angels. This idea is to express these different polarities. It is not meant to scare you, although it does. For these polarities exist in order for you to experience the difference between them. For you would not know what true love is if you did not know what true hate was, yes? And in order for you to experience that, you must experience the light and the dark. For one cannot exist without each other. If you only had light, You would not be able to perceive any shapes, colors, forms. And if you had only totally dark, you would experience nothing but blackness. For these two things must be balanced within the self, which is what you are being called to do now. So what is the truth? Well, first, the truth is subjective. For you must look inside and identify what you believe. For there is no right or wrong answer. This reality is exactly for that. The universe, God, Yahweh, whichever name you would like to use, has so much unconditional love for you that it will allow you to believe that you are worthless. That's unconditional. It is not about what the universe wants. The universe created this place for you as a sandbox to do whatever ye shall choose, yes? Even if that's darkness, even if that's light. But you do have a natural inclination to choose the things that feel good to you. But sometimes the mind gets in the way. I am not deserving. I am not worthy. I am not good enough. You must examine these beliefs of why you feel unworthy. Identify the belief and transform it. For what does this have to do with truth? It has to do everything with truth. For what you believe, you pull into this reality. However, there is also a plan. Yes? Reality is like a river. You must flow with it. The moment you try to struggle against its tide, its current, because you believe somebody told you that this was the way to go. But the more you struggle against the current, the more you drowned. So flow with it. Listen to the inner self, for you have a piece of God within you. And it must be resurrected from the dead, pushed into the light like a seed pushing through the soil. For that is the only way you will be able to see the true self. Now, we know there are many questions about who you are as a species. You are the sixth hybrid race. Your genetics ultimately did evolve here on Earth, but at around 450,000 years ago, extraterrestrials came to this planet. There were those that were here before, but that is another story. The ones that came from the sky, you refer to as the Anunnaki. This means of the sky. They were not just one singular race, but they were composed of multiple races. And they came here to help their planet. They needed certain minerals, metals, in order to fix their atmosphere. But when they came here, they realized they could not withstand the gravity of the planet. They could not withstand the light, for they had not evolved here. And they could only spend so much time down on the planet. So what they did was they took the current. It was not Homo sapien. It was something akin to your Sasquatch. And they incorporated their genetics into it, so they could create a race of workers to help them mine the metals and minerals that they needed. Without thinking, they did this wantonly, and they begin to grow an attachment to those creations. It split into factions. Half of them wanted to finish up the job and destroy what they had created. The other half knew that they had created something divine, something unique. It did not wish to destroy them, for they had grown love and care of them. This caused a war, yes, for there is evidence of it on your planet. The war was ongoing for a while, till humans were deemed to be worthy to be left alone to their own evolution, as long as nobody interfered, yes? And the Anunnaki left. But the agreements were not completely upheld, for more races after that came and manipulated the genetics 2-3 more times. And in this turn of events, it caused more war, and more war became rooted in your psyche. You watched as your gods tried to destroy each other, not knowing they were fighting over you. Eventually, an agreement was made and left the Earthlings to their devices. And over time, you expanded into what you call Lemuria and Atlantis. These were one of the first civilizations to ever take root on your planet. They expanded. They built monuments of great innovation and technology. But they went too far. They tried to manipulate the energy of the planet for their own selfish needs. Yes? Atlantis wasn't just one event. It took a few thousand years to dismantle a civilization. Geomagnetic storms, earthquakes, comets. By the time the last remnants of that society failed was about 11,500 years ago, and a comet came into your solar system. It split apart and it struck the North American continent, ejecting snow and ice into the atmosphere, which caused great chaos. This is where your stories of the flood from the Bible come from. And the remnants of the Atlanteans spread out over the worlds and became other civilizations. There was still some in Egypt, and they were able to hold on to knowledge for quite some time. The Mayans, the Incas, and many other civilizations that still you have not found. We wish to tell you this because you've been told that your history is a certain way. We do not wish to give you more than it has been said today, for it is not relevant to you at this time. But we wish for you to know that you are more than you are being told. You are a greater puzzle piece in the artwork of the universe. And make no mistake, humans tried their best. And when the comet came, all was known that you were going to go into a deep sleep. And years before, that's when the pyramids of Giza were built as a tuning device to be able to anchor that energy there, so no matter what happened ecologically, geologically, the information would stay carved in stone, as you might say. We do not wish for you to seek the truth in your history, meaning that it will not help you now, but you must understand where you came from so you do not make the same mistakes again. For during the time of Atlantis, it was thought that you might awaken at this point in time. But humans were not ready. We knew this. We told this. Others would not listen. And therefore, destruction came, not because we wished it to, because deep inside, your human race pulled it into this reality. For if you must wish to share space with us, to talk with us, you must go inward. And what do we mean by that? You must observe the self inside the framework of the body, for you have wounds that you have from this life. But those wounds are the same wounds that have been playing out for lifetime after lifetime on this incarnation on earth. And many of you believe you are trapped here, but that is just the mind telling you stories. When we say go inward, you must pay attention to the sensations in your body. You must feel inside your body. The best way to do this is by start to focus on the breath. Unadulterated, no forcefulness, just natural breath. And you observe it. This will sharpen the mind and you will be able to use the mind as a companion. For the ego is just a reflection of you. The mind chatter, you must observe it. Once you are aware of it, you will be able to shift it. For there are many timelines. The universe has multiple options. The multiverse. Every choice. So it's not that you need to change this reality. You must decide what you want, what you prefer to experience, and you shift to that reality, for all possible events have already happened, will happen, and will happen again. The rest of the energy from Lemuria is here. That rest of the energy is the shadow self. Now, what do we mean by the shadow self? For simply, it is the things that you are not aware of about you. About you. You do not need to focus on past lives. If that is your excitement, then yes, do that. But it is not required nor necessary. For all experiences that you have been played out in this incarnation. These wounds, feelings of abandonment, shame, fear, not being safe, all stem from the original wound of separation. And you are playing it out in smaller ways in this reality. For if you wish to change it, you just must merely be aware of it. Once the awareness sets in, you will be less likely to make that decision, but you always have a choice. That is the power that you do have. You may not always be in control. You may not always control what your life is doing. You may not control governments or friends or lovers or family. But you can choose how to respond. Yes, you must react. If so you think. But if you are aware of the reaction, you are less likely to react to it. Instead, respond. Treat yourself as you would treat somebody you love deeply. For do you believe that you do not deserve love? Do you believe that you do not deserve to be cared for? In order for you to truly love others, you must first learn to love the self. It is a choice you make. You will not one day wake up and feel the love of the self. You must choose it. That is the choice. We wish to tell you this so you are aware of it. so you could make whatever choice you want. For in the future timelines, it is predicted. The energy is ready for contact. But you must choose this. We cannot choose it for you. You must understand the self. Know thyself. And once you understand yourself, you will be able to understand others and have empathy for you. At this current point in time in your nexus, there will be things in the coming months that will happen that you will not understand, will not make sense. Do not become distracted by the outside world, for it will try to distract you. As we said in the previous transmission, if you watch a lot of media and news, and there are conspiracy theories, let them go, for it is a distraction. Do not ask what the government is trying to distract you from, but ask yourself, what am I distracting myself from? Well, this reality, remember, is your projection. This place is a reflection of who you are. Do not distract yourselves. Yoga, breath work, meditation, these are ways to help you anchor yourself into the present moment, into your heart. That is all we wish to say today for this transmission, but we do wish to give you an energy healing. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Let it out. In. Out. Imagine your heart, the space around your heart. Now imagine that space being lit up with a flame. Maybe there was nothing there before, but now there is fire. Whatever color you wish it to be, but now change it to a golden flame. And let that flame warm your heart. And let the flame expand to your whole body. And that flame will purify you. It will make things come into your awareness that you did not know. And as that flame expands to the size of your town, your city, your providence, your land, and as it expands over your continent, let it expand over the whole world. Let your heart feel lighter. Let your love expand for yourself. Expand for others. Expand for the creatures and nature of this world. For that love is within inside of you. You just have to choose it. Let that flame burn a little longer. And as the flame burns brighter, just notice the breath. Don't force it. Just notice it. If it's shallow, it's shallow. If it's sharp, it's sharp. If it's deep, it's deep. Do nothing. Just be aware. The watchman, the gatekeeper. Anytime you feel restless, anytime you feel pain, you can come to this technique by paying attention to the breath. Take a deep breath. And down. We wish to give you one final message. Well, two. The first one is that we deeply, deeply care and love for you and want you to know that. The second thing, do not make decisions from fear. Make them out of love. Recognize when you're in fear. Thank you for this opportunity to communicate, for we shall see you in the future. Namaste.